Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is, why is it so hard to meet others after you've been in a relationship that has been emotionally abusive or physically abusive? Maybe with someone who's very controlling and manipulative. Such as a malignant narcissist or a psychopath. The whole problem, I would say, with that is when you are in a relationship with someone who is controlling, usually they're controlling it so it isn't the best for their outcome. So there's usually something that they want or need that is at the, I would say, the cause of the abuse. Someone who is narcissistic or psychopathic, they lack empathy. They do not have an ability to understand, relate to the feelings, needs, wishes of another or a perspective. So it's just like a language that they don't talk. If you were, to be English speaking and go up to somebody who is from Peru who doesn't know any English, I could say, "Hello, good morning, I would like a cup of coffee." And they'd be looking at me and going, and then if I would point to coffee, "Oh yeah, coffee." But so in other words, when you're in a relationship with a narcissist or a psychopath, they do not have an emotional repertoire that is inclusive of your feelings, needs, wishes, and desires. It's irrelevant to them. They do not care. They are not able to pick it up. They are not able to be there for you. You will oftentimes feel that there's a lack of presence from these people, or even sort of an absence, an emotional absence, an absence of presence, which means they're not really sort of just there for you. They're always just sort of running around or whatever. And this becomes very unvalidating for people. They if you are not supported, people then take this as rejection, abandonment, and they feel then that they then interpret that there's something must be inherently wrong with them, that they are then receiving this treatment. So then they allocate the cause to be them because it's very consistent. And then they might see the abuser, treating another well, especially if it's a narcissist, then they're going to keep a whole bunch of supply. In other words, a whole series of relationships that are provisional to them in nature, which are providing them some outlet. And not that you can't have relationships, but the problem is, why are you not attracting then and having relationships with people that are built in respect with respect? In other words, when you have been in an abusive relationship with a malignant narcissist or a psychopath, it's kind of like being emotional, having emotional graffiti, having someone who just sort of tried to vandalize your internal environment, sort of, and then leave the place in ruins, leave the place dilapidated, leave the place with all sorts of different damage to it. Have you ever seen someone maybe, or like a damaged place, a property that, people who have gone in and they just want to destroy something, and they go in and then maybe they spray paint the windows or break things. This is just what delinquency or abusers do. Delinquents, they're trying to break something. They're trying to hurt somebody. They're trying to get back. They're trying to get a sense of power over others. So this insatiable need for power and control oftentimes results in just that, power and control over you. So you're giving them a reward by being controlled, by being cooperative, by being complicit. They want to know that they're at the top of the heap, the top of the game, that, over you. So they like to have that asymmetry. They want to know that they are above and over others. So they have this really as a need and a drive. So a lot of people then find themselves being very supportive or very codependent to abusers, even though they have given up anything and everything in their life that would make, quote unquote, their life worthwhile. Family, travel, relationships, closeness and intimacy. These are experiences you will not get with a narcissist. You'll have intimacy challenges, communication challenges. So if you're finding that really the only way to have relationships are that where you have been abused, then you really need to look at and rehab your boundaries and standards and really that internal climate and being able to see it, for what it is. If you have a boundary and a standard, then you can see an abuser coming. You'll be able to see the red flags a little bit better. You'll be able to acknowledge and validate it. Oh, here comes some trouble. Here comes, something problematic. And then it'll become, and then make you problematic. And then usually you define yourself as, I have many problems. I have this and this. I will never be able to meet somebody. I will never attract someone who treats me well. This is, subconscious and on the unconscious. So if you're finding this to be the case, oftentimes because part of you in your subconscious believes that you cannot change or you cannot handle the change or that you are not comfortable with the change. You have not accepted that you can accept the change. So it's a very important acknowledgement that you need to look within, excuse me, and become confident in change so you can deserve and attract something better.